Hello everyone, welcome to another Anthem live stream. Today we have a lot of very special guests, people who require no introduction, but we'll do some introductions because that's what we do. First of all, for our amazing friends in Edmonton, will you guys say hello to the stream and introduce yourselves?
Yeah, hello, I'm Mark Darrrah. I'm the executive producer for Anthem.
What up, everyone? My name is Mark Darrrah, and I'm also, actually, my name is Mike Campbell, and I'm a lead producer for Anthem.
You guys missed the ridiculous jokes that were going on before here, so we're in a little bit of a silly mood, but we love it. And of course, for the second time, two weeks in a row, we have Chad.
Yeah, I'm Chad Robertson. I'm the head of live service for Bioware.
Oh, and I am Ben Irving. I'm one of the lead producers for Anthem. So agenda for our stream today, we're going to just talk a little bit about early access. So we went live with early access last week. We have worldwide launch coming up here just around the corner, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to play some free play in the background just to have some gameplay going on.
Chad's going to play. Chad's playing.
Chad's going to play again.
With everyone on the stream. Chad is playing. You're seeing Chad's camera. I'm supporting Chad with my Colossus behind him. So Chad is going to be the hero of the day. Looking forward to seeing.
Because last time the comment was, well, I'd be amazing if I was playing the Ranger. So now we have the Ranger for Chad today. So
I just quietly handed the controller off to somebody on the side of this camera.
Yeah, we have our amazing QA people playing right now. So we're going to talk a bit about early access going into worldwide launch. We have a bunch of questions that the community submitted, so we'll go through some of them. And then we have a few things we're going to talk about what's coming next. So over the next couple of weeks and beyond, give a little bit of insight there. So first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about early access. So kind of open the floor up to, I guess we'll start with Edmonton folks. So Mark and Mike, do you have thoughts to share about early access, the things that went great and some things we've kind of fixed for worldwide launch?
Yeah, I mean, worldwide launch is coming up on the 22nd, so we've learned a lot of things from some of the early access builds. It's given us an opportunity to get a lot of feedback from the community, but I think it's overall people are having a pretty good time. It's as people have seen, like the changes that have gone in since the demo. I hope that we can start to set that expectation that we're going to continue supporting this game, and this is just the start.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who kind of came into the early access, and honestly, did a lot of good freelancing, and we found out a lot of important issues from the early access time period. So we appreciate everyone kind of putting up with some of the things in early access which were actually fixed for day one. I mean, it's super good for us to see bugs out there, found new ones that we can get onto the live service patches, but also equally cool for us to see things that have been already fixed in the patch that we can validate. Yeah, okay, you guys aren't going to see that in a couple days. So it's kind of good all around for us to see this stuff and continue to be engaged with the players and continue to be engaged with what everyone is seeing.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of on the patch, it's a great segue. We're actually going to deploy the patch here in a few hours. So I think let's call it in 4 hours, just to be 4 to 6 hours-ish. Yeah. We're going to do it with 0 downtime is the plan. And then we'll issue some comms for people to log out of the game and get the new patch and go back in, get on the latest servers so you can keep playing. We're excited to get that out kind of a day ahead of worldwide launch, just make sure we stabilize everything. And then, like Mark said, on the 22nd of February at 12:01, like 12:01 a.m., I guess, in the morning, as you hit midnight, it will be available in different regions throughout the world in a rolling start. So that's pretty exciting. But on that, because we talked about, we made lots of improvements from the demo, but there were still some issues, I think, in early access, some bugs that we've since fixed in the patch today. Do you guys have any favorite fixes or things we've done that people can expect to see here shortly?
So it's 6 gigs roughly, right? The patch size, it's about that. So those of you who have to care about how large things are, it's 6 gigs. So be prepared for that. One of my personal favorites obviously, on some of the older hardware, older PC hardware, you're going to see increased load times in a variety of places. The place where I notice it the most is teleports and tethers in the open world, kind of coming in and out of those small caves and stuff. You're going to see increased, or sorry,
And not increased load time.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you saying?
I wasn't going to correct you again there, Mike, but yeah.
Feedback that load times are too short.
guys, I'm playing.
So what we're doing is we're making them longer.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, shorter load screens on a number of places. Those places in particular, in the open world, getting tethered to your party, you should see a pretty big improvement. That's mine, and then I'm gonna go back to playing and then saving Chad here.
So what about Chad Robertson? What about you? Is there anything that you're especially excited about in the patch?
I mean, I think the thing I'm most excited about is just the breadth of it, because there's a lot of changes in there that I think the players are going to really enjoy. As we've talked about before, even starting with the demo weekend, a lot of what ends up being in this patch and then our subsequent patches is coming from community feedback. I don't know. I think there was a lot of feedback about the Tomb of Legionnaires quest, and that's already been addressed in some ways, and we've got some more things we're doing to address that in the future. But hopefully anybody who was struggling with that, that didn't have the right flag for that quest chain, can now continue it and enjoy the rest of that critical path of the story.
That's a great one. For those who maybe haven't played yet or whatever, the change we made was the Tomb of Legionnaires is a series of challenges that you unlock as part of the crit path. And they used to unlock after finding old friends, which was about level 8 for lots of players. But the feedback was, hey, these challenges take a little bit longer and are a bit more involved than players would have loved. And so what we did was change that prerequisite to be level 3. So by the time you get to the quest step, you've had 5 levels of doing these challenges anyway. And a lot of the challenges are things like, get weak point kills, use combos, get ultimate kills, that kind of stuff. So the hope is that kind of means when you get to that step, you still explore free play. We want you to discover how that works, do the world events and things like that, but it should take much less time. And of course, there's a bug fix in Aardvark, in our worldwide launch. Aardvark's what we call it, I guess that's out there now. But in our worldwide launch patch, the one today, where when you get chests, the group shares credit for them, whereas before you had to get it yourself to get a bit
So
longer,
just to be clear about that one, the range is 250 meters in game. So if someone in your party opens a chest and you're within 250 meters of that opening, then you will get credit for that chest. So you can't be on the other side of the map and get credit for it, but if you're within 250 meters, you get it. Yeah.
How about for you, Mark? Is there anything you wanted to call out?
As Chad said, it's a patch with a lot of things in it. I thought about talking about numbers, but I realized that most people don't actually have context into the number of bugs that are actually fixed in most developers. So I'll steer away from any. I look so grumpy. Grumby. I look so grumpy. What the hell does grumpy mean, chat?
Mark always looks grumpy, though.
What does grumpy mean?
It's a little bit of Gumby plus grumpy.
Gumby with a beard? Is that
the
Grumby?
chat is going. I am not a Twitch streamer, as you can tell by the chat going by here. I'm going to answer a question off the chat, though. People asked how people are playing the PS4 already. Yeah, those people have stolen copies of the PS4 build. That's how they're playing.
Or I mean, let's take the most respectful interpretation. Maybe a retailer or two broke the street date, which usually happens.
Which is just as bad.
Yes.
Also go to jail.
I like this 4-person stream. The dynamics here are much more exciting than just me and Ben alone. We'll have to do this on a recurring basis.
I like that's Chad's subtle way of saying never leave me with Ben alone ever again. That's fine.
Hey,
awkward.
who's actually playing the Ranger right now? Is it you, Chad? Because you're doing great.
Oh, here's a chest, and look, credit for everyone.
Thank you, Mike.
But it's fine.
Go.
I'm about to hand it back to Jesse, though.
Oh, it was Jesse. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
No, Chad was playing. He's giving it to Jesse.
What difficulty are we on?
Easy. Grandmaster 6.
Grandmaster 7.
Right?
Yeah. All right. So we had
Smash
some
that like button, like and subscribe.
like subscribe. That's right.
That's right.
I hope we probably don't have subscribe, but so there are a bunch of other fixes that went in. We've released the patch notes now, I think, so everyone in the community has access to them. For me, some of my favorites, I kind of came from the combat lens, so I like the things we did to the Colossus with the shield. It'll come up a bit faster than it was before. You can also revive down javelins with your shield up, which I think gives a lot more utility to the Colossus, which is cool. And but the biggest one for me is a bunch of the inscriptions had bugs with them. So especially if you were above level 25, you weren't getting all of the power you were meant to from those inscriptions, especially kind of the ones that impact like combat damage, for example. So that is fixed. So I think, we'll see a lot more theory crafting now and a lot more builds, and I'm super excited to kind of see how that meta plays out for the first few weeks of what kind of group compositions and build compositions people using to push some of the hardest.
We actually had a question related to that, didn't we?
Did we? What was it?
I don't know. All I can see coming to streams is that everyone loves me and wants me on the streams more.
Yeah. No,
I also wonder how much trouble I'll get in if I tell everyone to subscribe to T-Series.
Oh, God.
How bad? What's going to happen in the stream if I say that?
Well, you did it now.
I did. I totally did. What happens?
I don't know.
You won't be invited back, that's all.
Oh, yeah.
I think you should just become the host now, Mark. You should
Hi,
just.
chat.
What's our delay on chat right now? Our text chat delay? Do we know?
I don't know.
Not any?
It seems
Okay.
pretty fast because I said T-Series and they went bananas.
How can we can't even read chat. Why does Edmonton get chat and we don't get chat here,
No, we
Jesse?
don't.
What is happening?
They're turning on me.
We have a cipher who's
They're
relaying
turning
the
on
chat.
me.
Oh, perfect.
Hey, I
all
have
good
a
things
question
come
for
to
you,
an end.
which you may not know the specifics of. So sorry for
who?
Okay, so shields on scouts. Do you know how we changed those for the patch? Because I saw a patch note the other day, and I'm telling you, the scout shields is one of the biggest pains in the butt for me playing. So do you know that one, or should we follow?
So I don't know the specific balance change. I think we might have increased the shield, but then we're going to decrease it back to where it was.
Okay.
I think if that's what you're talking about, but I can talk about shields in general and the best way to deal with them, because I think that's important. So one thing that isn't known by everyone is that lightning effects do 50% bonus damage to shielded targets, and frost attacks do 25% bonus damage to shielded targets. Now, I love talking all nerdy, as you know, but I think what happens sometimes is people use other abilities and it's frustrating, or use your weapons. Like, the best thing to do is try to chain those things together on shielded targets, like the scouts and the flyers, especially in harder difficulties. And then after you get the shield down, you can CC them, you can apply status effects, you can get combos. So I think that's kind of the best thing to be doing.
Cool. I'm going to do that now.
Yeah, you're welcome. Free advice.
Yeah.
For good friends.
We should talk more often, though.
Yeah.
This is really beneficial.
I literally talk to you every day, like 5 times a day.
Yeah. You are.
What's your name again?
Hey, Ben, how does Badge of Devastation work?
What's Badge of Devastation? I don't know.
Well, there's your answer. We will
Was
have
that a chat question or a?
It's a chat question.
You know what?
We do have a question.
One of my knowledge gaps is around what the masterwork item names are, if that's what that was, because we rebranded everything at the last minute to be good names instead of our made-up names.
Dev names, yeah.
And so I don't know too much about the masterworks in general, and especially now that we changed the names. And we've been working a lot, so I haven't had a chance to play and get to that part of the game yet, unfortunately.
There were a bunch of people asking me on Twitter about. I mean, this is a small thing, but it was important to a lot of folks. Xbox profile settings. So there was a bug with the first early launch that you'd have to basically redo your settings every time you kind of came in, because it wouldn't save it out. So that one got fixed. A lot of people didn't know that had gotten fixed in this patch, so that's all sorted out as well. So you won't have to set, for those people who invert, you won't have to reset that every single time. You'll be able to keep it.
Okay, so
That's
we have a
important.
few...
That's important for people who invert.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
don't
me.
start me on these inverted players again.
Yes.
Yep.
So we have some questions from chat come through, and Jesse has put them together for us. So question one, I think this might be a Chad Robertson question. Well, anyone can answer it, but will Anthem support DLSS ever?
The answer to that question is yes, soon. We actually have it. That work has already been completed, but you'll see it in an upcoming patch.
Not today's patch.
Not today's patch. Sorry. Thank you.
All right. Jesse, do you have another question you want to ask out loud for us?
Sure. Did we answer the SLI question?
We have not yet.
Okay, well, the chat wants to know, will Anthem support SLI?
You cannot play and ask a question at the same time. That was ridiculous. You're flying in a straight line into a cliff.
See, now they're going to think that was me flying,
read off a
crashing into
Word
stuff.
doc. What's happening?
Thanks for all the help. It's just
Do you want to give me the
Alpha.
controller?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the question was, what's going on with SLI?
Yeah, the answer is yes. Anthem will support SLI. It's going to that update will be combined with the DLSS update, so you should see that soon. But again, not today, and not for Friday.
Next question, Jesse.
Yes, sir.
Where are you, Mike?
I'm there's lots of outlaw war modes.
Nighthawk!
Hey, there's a question of whether we're going to have armor sets. We will have we are looking into set bonuses at a future time. Not today.
Do they mean more armor packs, though? I think that was
maybe.
a question.
I don't know. It's really hard to read this stream. I know AJ's going to turn around the monitor, so I can't look at it anymore.
No,
Yeah, that's a good idea. If we could go ahead and do that, that would be great.
No. Hey, so yes, Ben, to the other question, whenever we see some more armor, maybe you want to go in there.
So we have an update a little later in the stream about how we're introducing some new vanity into the game. So I want to talk about that. We did do a store refresh just today, which puts new items on the storefront. I think people were confused, and it's on us because we had a 10-day timer on the storefront. But our plan is to refresh that every 2 to 4 days, so that those of you earning lots of coin, or if you wanted to spend some shards, there's more stuff there for you to buy, and also a diverse range of suits. There's only really 2 suits at a time. So that went up today. And then we have some more vanity stuff coming through a gameplay mechanic, and we'll talk about that a little later in the stream.
Hey, so Jesse has some amazing questions lined up. Let's let him, and he's dying to read them as options as they come in.
I have one.
Oh, go ahead.
Stat page ? Or stat page ? Depending on who is asking the question. At least we can answer it so they can stop
or are you
asking.
asking real questions? I feel like you're just asking your own questions at this point.
Mike, that was my question.
That's a question I think that we anticipated.
Yeah. Do you want to answer it, Chad? I think you know the answer.
Yeah, we're evaluating some options for that. We had ideas for that all along, and I think the input from the community has emphasized that is a good thing we should do. But I have a question for the community. You don't like Excel? Come on, what else do you need?
Yeah, why doesn't someone make their own mobile app where you can put all your stats in?
Yeah, no,
I'm
but
just kidding,
seriously, we're working on plans for that. So stay tuned. We'll have some more news on that soon.
So that people can stop typing into chat now.
We should also mention that yes, the patch comes out very soon. I don't know if we said a specific time. I think we did. I was playing.
I said 4 to 6 hours from now.
But we also have many patches in progress for the future. I mean, that's just how it works.
Yes.
Like sure, we're done with one, but the next one is already midway
in development right now. Yes.
Yep. And we will talk about that next patch. It's a few weeks after today. We'll talk about 2 of the features that are in there in 5 minutes. Well, do we have more questions, Jesse, or do you want to transition over to there? How are you feeling?
Yeah, we've got a lot more questions that we can go through. Try to burn through some of these before we head on. But are there any plans for providing options when you're downed?
So we've talked a bunch about, we've seen some feedback that when people go down, they're like, hey, no one noticed I was down. So we don't have anything in the short term for that, but we are looking into the issue, and we have some ideas about it. Even things like, hey, when you're down, can it just have a audio line that's like, hey, I'm down, friends, get me up, or whatever. But we don't have that in the next couple of weeks, but we're looking into it.
Yeah.
But there's some longer term stuff as well that we're looking at, because we've gotten the feedback that when you're down, if no one reses me, it can be kind of boring. What can I do in the meantime? So there's a longer term discussion as well about some other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Next question. Let's go north, Mike. Hey, what do you think?
Are there any more plans for support or ultimate items outside of what's already in the game?
So ultimate items are going to be like a longer term thing. They're the most kind of impactful abilities that we made. So you can imagine they take a little longer to build. We like the idea of doing it, but that's kind of a longer term thing. I think on the support side, so like your left and right bumper, like for me, that guy, we'd like to do some in the short term, not in the next couple of weeks, but probably soonish after that, we'd like to add some more. We're talking about it right now, so timing, whatever, TBD, what they are, and all that kind of stuff. But that's the idea.
So, someone asked about a ping system like Apex has. I really like their system. I think it's actually quite clever, having contextual chat. We obviously don't have it right now, and I don't know how portable what Respawn has made would be. We have to take a look.
We did ask, but yeah.
You did ask?
Yeah.
Not very, yeah, but I would love to take a look at it. I mean, one problem will be on the console controls. I don't think we have a button, so that might be a bit of a challenge, but I actually do think it's quite...
We have, it's a great point, because we have been looking into an alternate to that, like, if you want to communicate with your team, which is really what that's all about, like how do you communicate with them? And so we've talked about some other ways that we think we could leverage the existing control scheme. I don't know if I want to share all the details now.
You don't have to share those details right now, Ben.
Yeah, but
maybe now. No, that's
maybe now. But I think in a few more weeks here we can talk a bit about that. We have to see if we can do it. There's a few catches to it all, as always.
That was a tough fight.
It's good feedback.
I have a question.
Oh!
Who came up with the?
You see this?
Yeah, I did see that. Nice, well done.
Got a masterwork, no big deal.
Yep.
Carry on.
Good deal.
Who came up with the Nighthawk and Dragon bit initially?
Probably Ben, right? Probably Ben.
Does that mean are you an original fan of that movie, or like how did that?
No, I think what happened is like Mike and I were casually flirting with each other on Twitter, as we like to do, and
Twitter.
And I think you were making fun of me about something. I can't remember. And then I just went to GIFs and put in brothers, and then the Step Brothers thing came up from the movie, and I was like, oh, that's so funny.
Oh, good.
And so I posted that, and then I think we both just kept posting those things, and then we decided on the first stream we did it'd be funny if we called ourselves Dragon and Nighthawk, which is what they call themselves
right.
In the movie Step Brothers. So,
Yep.
One of Ben's top 10 movies of all time.
Yes.
Cinematic classic.
Cinematic classic.
It's in the Criterion collection.
We're gonna.
What else we got, Jesse?
Let's keep going north, eh?
Yeah, so we got a couple more, and then we can go into our next segment. But so how much additional lore can players expect with upcoming content?
You want me to grab that one?
Sure.
Yeah, so I think that's a deeper question into what we're planning on doing with the live service. And while we don't have a ton of details we can share on that yet, we do have lots of internal plans.
World event, Mike.
Yeah, I think the main answer is that if you look at what we want to do narratively with the game for the next several years, you'll see this overarching story that includes tons of lore that we want to include to continue to evolve Anthem's world and the characters and everything that goes with it. So you can expect some big updates there, and I think you'll be pleasantly, anybody who's asking that question will be pleasantly surprised to know that we've got a lot of cool things we think are coming there.
Yeah. Wow, that is the 1,000 word answer to yes.
Yeah.
You know what though? So I think something that a lot of people don't know about Anthem is the way that the systems are built, the way that the framework is set up, is it makes it fairly easy for us to add new different types of content. So I get this question a lot on Twitter. Okay, so we wanna do different gameplay mechanics. So yeah, we've done Wisps enough times. We want to do something different. The way that the Anthem system is built is that all we have to do is put that new kind of gameplay thing into the toolbox, and then you'll start to see those things represented in world events as you kind of even go through all the launch content. So we have a really strong framework for how to add more lore, more gameplay. It's just a matter of us doing it over the months and years ahead, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So there's a question about text Chad. I don't know what, like, as opposed to 3D model Chad, I guess. So does anyone want to talk about text Chad? Chad, maybe?
I don't know what the text version
I haven't
of
seen
Chad
this
would
question.
be like.
Is it more detailed than that, or is that the extent of it?
Text Chad. Oh, that one said text chat.
But text Chad is an interesting concept.
Yes.
Yeah.
Text chat.
Yeah, anytime you can use 1,000 words when one would suffice, I'll pull that off, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what the question is, but
I think they're saying, what about text chat in the game?
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Just in case
Yeah,
we're getting
got
lost in the riddles here.
Lost in the riddles. Now I'll defer to you on that one, Ben. You've answered that one before,
Yeah,
I've seen.
we don't have text chat. We are looking at some accessibility stuff. So we should kind of get clear in that message. So I don't want to kind of butcher it now by mistake. So we can kind of talk about that a little bit later. But like I said before with the ping system question, I think really a lot of the question is, if I don't want to use VoIP, how can I better communicate with my squad mates? And that's kind of the thing that we're looking at.
Right.
And that's the thing that I talked about before that I don't have all the details on yet. But in a few weeks here, we can talk about it or just give an update. I'm not sure when or if or whatever we can do it, but we're definitely talking about it because we think it's an important piece of feedback we've heard from the community.
Yeah. So I think to reiterate, this question and the ping question is really more about giving me a way to communicate what's going on, explain to someone how the puzzle works, things like that, without using voice.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether that's text chat or something else, there's more details will come at a later date.
Yeah. Oh, there's a good quality of life thing that if you guys are watching Ben's screen, that came out that will come out in the new patch. If you look at the compass, if there's a creature who's behind you, there's going to be an arrow at the edge of the screen, kind of telling you that there is someone behind you. That wasn't in the early access build. You guys should be able to see it on Ben's screen when you
inevitably find there's one.
Yeah, when we stop totally destroying everyone as the dream team.
That's right. It's the dream team. Okay. So, how are we for time? Oh, wow. It's already 27 past. Well, why don't we transition into some future stuff? I think I'll need more than 20% of my brain again, so I might hand the controller to someone else because apparently I can't talk very well.
Hey, while we're getting set up, we've talked about crossplay not being available at launch. We're still looking into it. Do we have any further details to give at this point?
Nothing to add at this point other than that we absolutely are looking into it.
Yeah. So stop asking, chat.
We wanted to do it. It's cool.
Yeah,
we do want to do it. We
Yeah.
do want to do it. There's nothing inherent in the game itself from a technical perspective stopping us from doing it. There's just some service stuff that needs to be worked out, and we obviously have to get the console manufacturers on board.
Yeah.
I'm also the best ever. It said right there. I said I was the best ever.
But no, it went up really quick. So no, but I know it says you're the worst ever there too. It said Mark is never mind. I'm not going to read that out.
Wow.
Interesting.
Great segue, guys, into what's coming next. So there are a couple things we're going to talk about as these guys play the game that mainly are based on player feedback, but also some ideas we had in the works. And so this isn't for the patch today, but we're hoping to get these in, or our goal is to get this in for the patch after, which will be a few weeks after today's patch. But the first is talking about stronghold vanity chests. So what does that mean? So kind of to set up the context, there's been some feedback of, hey, I want to personalize my javelins a bit more, but I'd like to have some part of my look that's available through kind of playing the game or doing something in the game that maybe not everyone can do. And so we're like, oh, that's really good feedback. We were also at the same time aware of some issues with making strongholds be really rewarding. They're quite a long time investment, and yes, you get great loot from them, but people wanted to be able to show off some of the things that they were getting. And so the idea that we're going to put into the game is called Stronghold Vanity Chests. So the idea is that we'll have 100 items that are vanity driven, or personalization, as we often talk about them. And as you finish a stronghold, at the end there'll be 4 chests available. And the idea is that you earn keys, and so you can earn a key by doing a daily challenge, for example. So you can every day earn 1 key, go into a stronghold, get the key by doing a daily challenge. At least that's how we'll make them available when we launch the feature. And then you do the stronghold at the end, you open a chest and you get some vanity. But the kicker is, if your squad mates have a key, they can also open the chests and you get each other's loot. So I open a chest, my whole party gets that loot. Chad opens a chest, then we all get that loot again. Then Mark opens his chest, we all get the loot, and Mike opens his chest. So we're kind of incentivizing some social organizing here because,
win for everyone.
you know, ideally you be like, hey, I want to find some friends who all have keys. Let's do it together. The chests will be random exhaustive. So if you don't know what that word means or that phrase means, the idea is that there are 100 items and you will get them all after 100 times. I say 100. It's not a literal 100. I think it's very close to 100, maybe a bit more or a bit less. But as you do it that many times, that's how long it will take to kind of get everything in the list. And then we'll review that list. We might add more things over time or do a whole new set of vanity into the chest over time. But that's kind of that system. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. It rewards you for playing the game, which we think is cool. Does that seem clear? Do you guys have questions, or does chat have questions?
So, question for these chests: will I get a duplicate?
So, will I get a duplicate? I think we might have just silenced Edmonton for a second. Will we get a duplicate item? The answer is no. You will not. So, well, there are 100 items. You get them all. Some of those items, so the majority of them are all vanity, and we'll actually show some examples. I forgot we had some. We'll show them. But you can also get other things like crafting materials or ember. So it's possible we put 5 ember in there. You know what I mean? So you can get the ember 5 times. But of the vanity specific things, no, you get just one copy of all of them, and then it's unlocked forever. So good point, because I forgot. We have examples. Let's show some examples. These are some of the cool things that you can see in the vanity chest. So you can see, we have a mixture of vinyls, all different kind of quality rarities of vinyls. You see some of them here. We have some. So I can hear them. Can the stream not hear? Okay, that's fine. So you're all missing out on Mark's humor. Let me just tell you it's funny.
They mute us, man.
And so next, we also have some emotes. I don't know if they're queued up next, or if we can go to them. So these are some of the emotes that are available in these Stronghold vanity chests. Once we get it up. Yes. You can look. Oh, they can't hear you right now. Yeah, so I'm not repeating that question. Excellent. But here are some of the... So again, remember in the game, there are 3 types of animations. You have the victory pose, the landing animation, and emotes. And so there's a mixture of all of them. These are some of the ones you can earn, again, just by earning a key and then playing through the Stronghold here in a few weeks when we launch this update. Pretty cool stuff. There's some epic quality stuff in there, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that was the first one. Are there questions? I don't know, Jesse, or I guess Mark and Mike can see chat if there are any questions on that.
Yeah, because Mike is cut.
Yeah, I know.
No, your Mike's back
this is
now.
a thing now.
We can't talk.
Yeah, Mike's back now. When the game is up, we can hear.
Well, I can't see what's up, so I don't know if they're cutting my mic because they're trying to silence me, but I refuse to be silenced.
But they're saying that Mike got shut down, and I can't tell if it's Mike me or Mike the mic. So
let's just pretend it's the microphone.
They're not reacting to my amazingness anymore, so either they've wandered away from me and I've lost control of my mob, or they've cut my mic again.
Boy, yeah, there's a lot of questions, but it's just hard to see because they're going.
It's going even faster than before.
All right. Well, how about? Okay.
Is Mike hot?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What about? So the primary way that you get keys is from grinding strongholds. Are there any other ways to get keys at this point?
The primary way to get keys is to do the daily challenge. We will set an objective on a given day that rewards the key. So the idea is you log into the game, that should be the first thing you do, right? You go and get your key for the day, and then you use that to complete a stronghold and get great loot and also get cool vanity.
Right.
Yep.
So challenges, gotcha.
Yep. It'll be like the daily challenge. That's at least what we'll start with, and of course we'll see what works and doesn't work, and if we have to make adjustments, we can make some adjustments. Okay, so if there's any more questions, let's roll them up. But let's do the next topic. I think I know what it is, but can we scroll down just to make sure? Oh yeah, so in that same patch, we're going to do the Stronghold Vanity Chests. One piece of feedback we've heard in this first week has been, hey, like, you have all this amazing content through the crit path and the agent missions, but I can't replay it. Is there a way to replay it? And so there are a bunch of, look at you doing a flag ultimate. There are a bunch of different ways you can solve that problem. The thing that we wanted to do was to reintroduce the crit path missions as endgame activities. So we're calling them legendary missions. And so what our plan is to do a couple in a few weeks from now, see if the community likes them, see if you guys enjoy playing them. And if that seems to be something that is worth doing, then we'll go and convert all the crit path over to these legendary missions. So what that means is, like, what is a legendary mission? What makes it legendary? One of the first missions in the game is called Lost Arcanist. It's probably the one that we'll do first. But it's early in the game. So early in the game, we use, this is some internal terminology, but we use mainly easy encounter types. So you don't fight the full range of, say, the Scar that you encounter in Lost Arcanist. You don't have many Scar heavies. It's a lot of footmen. It's designed to be easy as you're learning the game. The legendary mission version will put in what we call extreme encounters, which is like harder combinations, more creatures, and then we'll balance them for max level. Right. So the idea is you can play the crit path, but balanced at max level, level 30. Difficulty-wise, we'll see how it plays out. We're thinking that kind of the progression is, from easiest to hardest content is free play, contracts, legendary contracts, then legendary missions, then strongholds. And so that's based on like time investment, but on also how hard we think it is. And then of course they'll have the 6 difficulty levels, easy, medium, hard, Grandmaster 1, 2, and 3. And we're working out the specifics that the rewards will give you, but we hope this is just a fun thing to do. And
before we could ask questions about it, the way that the story will work relative to that.
Yeah, so that's a great point. So the point of this is to let you replay the mission itself. And so lots of the Fort Tarsus stuff won't be part of this. If you want to just naturally replay the whole crit path, you just make a new pilot and you could replay it that way.
Yeah. So actually, that's a really good point, Ben. So replaying the crit path is something that we get asked a lot. You can do that by making a new pilot, and there's a lot of stuff that are tied to the player account and not necessarily tied to the player pilot. So we look at new pilots kind of like a new game plus, in that you're still going to have a lot of the stuff that you have from your previous playthrough to be able to use on your new pilot. So for sure, I know that vanity stuff that you've unlocked on your previous playthrough,
you keep all that,
ties over, and there's a lot of that. So
all 4 suit unlocks.
Yeah, the 4 suit unlocks. So if people want to play through the crit path again, like for example, maybe they had a bug with a cutscene in the early access week, and now that the patch is out, they won't get that again. People can play through the entire thing again, a lot more bug free now, and carry over a lot of their progress to that new pilot as well.
Yep. Do we see any questions on that in chat, Jesse or Mark, who's now the professional chat viewer?
No, I don't think so. They've moved on.
All right. So, but they're two cool features that will come in our patch again.
Timing. This is a soon. All of this stuff you're talking about, Ben, right now is in a soon to come patch.
Yes.
A soon to come patch. A few weeks from now, once we firm up all those dates, we'll announce it publicly and all that kind of stuff. And again, the goal is for these to go in there. We're doing all the work right now. We have to make sure we get it done and tested so that it's a high level of quality. Again, we've been so transparent on this campaign. We want to share stuff with you all early, which is a great segue. Because Chad had a topic,
is it about accounting laws? Because I feel like this is a great segue to accounting laws.
I feel so. Before we move on, everyone on the chat is asking to have Tomb of the Legionnaires be our first legendary mission. So I don't know. Maybe just pass that on. You guys can figure out if you want to use it.
That was the next bullet point. So we've redone that. It's at GM3 only. So it's going to be a great experience.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Real segue this time.
So the actual segue of being transparent, Chad, like we shared a little bit about a patch that's
we
coming in a few weeks, but people want to know, and we've shared the kind of the year calendar with 3 acts, and Act 1 has these 3 themes.
Right.
But people want more and more specifics. What's kind of our plan?
That's a lot of
for
build
that?
up to a potentially just another tease, but
Yeah, I guess true.
We've got a more detailed 90-day calendar that we'll be sharing very soon. We're hoping it'll go out in the next week. But in that, you'll see kind of the balance of content in a little bit more detail than we talked about last week. Specifically, things like insight into how we plan to stage what we call events in the game, balanced with all the things that we'll do for quality of life fixes, and then ultimately additions of content like strongholds, and lastly leading up to our cataclysm, which we talked about last week when we showed the act calendar. So you can look forward to seeing a little bit more detail, I'll say, within the next week, we hope. And I'll let Mark answer the RevRec question, because everybody's dying to know what that means now, right?
Yeah, so, hey,
You're not really gonna-
accounting laws with
Oh, no.
public companies are
no.
a thing that prevent us from talking about certain things. And AJ is making a slashing motion on his neck. But suffice
I'm so
to
glad
say
Mark joined
is
us. This is
that
perfect.
if it was entirely up to us, we would provide more detail than we are currently providing. But it's not, and there are government organizations like the SEC that determine what we can say.
Yeah. And all that being said, though, we'll still be able to share a lot.
Yeah.
So
Our
don't-
intention is
don't
always
worry
to share as
about
much
it.
as we can,
Yeah.
for sure. And part of that is about, we want to make sure that we've got confidence in our development schedule before we share something that we can't ensure we're going to deliver on the time that we say.
Yeah.
And then there's the aspects of it, just like Mark was saying, where there are some complications from a public company standpoint where we have to be careful about how much we announce too far in advance.
Our goal is to share as much as we can as quickly as we can, and we are continuously working into making sure that we can provide more as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll also do things, like the legendary missions I talked about. Like, we want to, try some things out, see if we can get them to you early. If players like it, then we do more. Like, we're going to start with only maybe 3 missions, 2 or 3 missions for the legendary missions, and they'll probably be the first 3 of the game, starting with Lost Arcanist. We'll see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
And then if you all like them, and it's like, yeah, that was a really fun experience. It was a great way to replay, these environments as part of the game that I really love playing, then we can do more. And if universally people are like, oh, I don't think these are great, then we can not do
Yeah,
more.
we'll tweak it and
There's
then
lots of
respond,
kind of
for sure.
flexibility there.
And that's the content additions. We're also working on just tons of quality of life improvements that keep on going. Like, we see the feedback, we're processing the feedback. We've seen everything from why is my CPU high on PC, and we look at stuff like that, to why am I loading in later relative to my friends, and then I have a couple load screens. Like, we see all of that stuff. It's just a matter of kind of figuring out what the root causes are, and kind of nipping them and then putting them out in patches. So there's a quality of life stuff too that people should know we're working on.
Hey, Sportman wants to know if I'm running for president in 2020.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I am not a naturalized American citizen, so I do not qualify to run for president.
Yeah, we're hitting the most important topics in this live stream.
Yeah,
that's
that's
for
right.
sure.
The tough
AJ
questions
wrote it
at
in the
the
thing right
top.
there. Right, he wrote it right there.
Yeah. All right, Splorgman, you got your
All right.
question answered.
I feel like
So-
Sportman is I need an explanation. I know, never mind.
No,
No, I'm
no.
moving on.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesse, if you can keep going through that tunnel, because it's like a cool outro tunnel, we are going to wrap it up. So, a couple of things. First of all, it's great to have the Dream Team together. If you haven't seen my Twitter post,
Do we have t-shirts
greatest
made for that
Twitter
yet?
post in history time. What's that?
Do we have t-shirts made for that yet?
No, but apparently we have a live from Bioware t-shirt
Yeah.
that only one person was allowed
That Chad
to wear.
has.
for
He
the
made it as he's
stream.
got a silk screening at home.
In his basement.
In his
Ridiculous.
basement. He's
It's
so
actually, I actually just did it with a Sharpie. It looks really good, doesn't it?
But good times. Reminder, the patch, the big patch we've been talking about on the 22nd, we got ready early. So that will be going live. It's now 3:45 Central Time. It will go live in a few hours from now. I said
Yeah.
4 to 6 earlier
Yeah.
to give us some window. Hopefully it's a little bit before then.
Man, I was getting nervous. I thought you
we'll
were going to
get-
say a specific time.
we'll-
And to be
no,
clear,
no,
we
no,
would tell you
no,
a specific time, but we have our partners need some time.
This,
First party needs
this
some
one
time to prep
isn't
stuff.
an SEC one. This is literally our ability to coordinate it to a minute is somewhat suspect.
Yeah.
You guys are making my outro super long.
Yeah, we're just going to keep talking.
The tunnel.
He did 3
Never
trips in
gonna
the
end,
tunnel, and he got bored
Why
of
did
it.
good times have to come to an end? My phone is buzzing at me. Someone
I
wants my
know.
attention.
Don't must have yelled at me for the SEC
you couldn't
stuff.
have possibly said anything
Yeah.
that would cause your phone to ring today.
Yeah.
Okay, so the patch goes live soon. Patch notes are up. Our community team will message it when it actually goes live, and it will be up on our website. Otherwise, thank you all who played as part of early access. We learned a lot. We think there's a lot of fun that was had, and some things that we can work on in the future. And we look forward to getting this patch out and then having worldwide access here in a day or so.
Yeah,
I guess
very soon.
it's
Friday.
It's
I'll
in
be on
like,
PlayStation all
Yeah.
weekend.
isn't it like in 13 hours?
Well, again, yes. I like to say Friday just so everybody's
yeah.
confident of that date.
But I
yes,
think
based
like
on
in,
worldwide rollout,
in New
it's-
Zealand, it's
yeah.
like Friday in like 13
like-
hours.
Okay.
Yeah, because time zones are hard.
Time zones
as
are
I
hard.
proved,
Yeah.
I proved
Yeah.
last week.
Someone,
We could tell you the central times for it, but it would just confuse everybody. So.
Chat thinks I'm
yeah.
weird looking.
Yeah, you
which
are,
is
but-
true.
But they also want you to be in charge. Little do they know.
I am in charge.
He is in charge.
I am actually in charge.
The only reason Chad.
Why do
hasn't
you
fired
think
us.
I get to talk about this like this?
All right. I was going to say if anyone has anything else to say, but I think we've covered all of that. So thank you guys and to all of our fans for coming to watch the stream. We look forward to seeing you in game soon.
Absolutely.
And that's it for us.
See you in PlayStation this week.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
See
you in
y'all.
game.
Bye.